So now we're going to get into charting guitar. Let's dive right into it. You're going to open up Reaper, which you downloaded in a previous step, if you don't already have it downloaded. And you're going to open up the part guitar track here. That's where we're going to be putting the notes for guitar. Okay. Expand this. Double click on the part guitar track. It's going to come with some of these placeholder notes at the beginning. We're going to right click and delete these. Press the delete key. Then we are going to open up the FX viewer for it so we can see the notes that we're doing. If it doesn't have that chart preview that I like to use, then you can press add and go to the FX called chart preview by Dichotic Studios. Okay, you're going to change this drop down from drums to guitar. We're going to put this on 170 tick right here. That's what the preset is default to in Magma. That's for hammer-ons and pull-offs. We'll show you later if the song has any. But if it doesn't, then this basically just how much time that a hammer-on or pull-off would automatically get generated. So if I go into the expert lane here, and then let's say I do one here and then one here and one here like this. And then I move my play cursor to just behind that spot. You'll see, let me zoom in. So when they're far apart, they're going to look as regular notes. But when you make them small, like 30-second notes or so, or even 16th notes, you're going to see that they turn into these hammer-offs. That's what hammer-ons, excuse me. That's what these are. They're called HOPOs, hammer-on pull-offs, and they'll still appear at 16th note intervals as well. So that just dictates that. If you move them out beyond a 16th note, then you'll see it no longer is like that. But it's not always a 16th note. I thought it was 16th, but in Magma it's actually this 170 tick, so 170 milliseconds. So make sure you leave it on this unless you're going to change in Magma later the setting for that, which I'm going to show you in Magma real quick is really fast. Right here, this HOPO threshold. So it's based on this milliseconds, okay? Alright, so anyways, we're not using that right now. I am going to turn off the velocity handle here. I don't want that. I also don't want the name of the note here. So I'm going to right click up here in the top left. I'm going to go to piano roll notes, show velocity handles on notes. We're going to remove that. We're going to do it again, go to piano roll notes and show note names on note. I don't need note names on the notes. Let's hold control and scroll the wheel to make this smaller. Okay. Now we're going to listen to just the guitar track by itself. I'm going to make this a bit smaller. To do that, I'm going to click the solo button here on the left side for guitar. You can also go and mute the other tracks, like mute each audio track. But I'll just press solo for now. On the guitar audio, when I press play, you'll be able to hear just that track. So it'll make charting easier because we don't have the other instruments to listen to. However, since there's bleed through between these, because these are AI stem splitter in a previous step, they're going to sometimes miss notes. So eventually you do want to come back and listen to all the tracks, but this will just help us get started. This song seems like it gets started on just a single notes on guitar, so we can begin putting those. But a lot of times what I like to do before I start this is to use some automatic pitch detection to check how high or low the notes are. That kind of helps start this. So what I do is duplicate this track here. Let me show that. Okay, I'll just name this like guitar MIDI-fied or something that we're gonna turn this into a MIDI file here, and this is gonna be super useful in vocals and bass. But I'll try it on guitar as well to see if we can get some of these automatically pitched. You're gonna like it. Click on FX, press add in the FX chain. We're gonna search for tune. This is a built-in Kakos. These are the guys who made Reaper. This is a built-in FX chain, so you're gonna add this VST, and when we play the song here, you'll see the letters moving all around, right, to tell you what key it is. So to get this to detect, we're gonna check this box that says send MIDI events when pitch changes. You definitely need that for it to work at all. and we're going to change the attack time, how long it has to wait to hear the notes, to like a very low number, usually like 10 or so. And the window size is how long the waveform is that it has to be playing for. I'm going to press play. Okay, you should see in this correction tab, you should see notes appearing there. If you don't, it may be super noisy and you're hearing like a lot of crosstalk. Now, since this has like two instruments, guitar and the other one, overlap just means it can detect two notes at the same time, or 4 or 8, so you can increase that. So that looks pretty good. I really like this. Is really clean, but it, you know, that's where it is here because the song is not that noisy, but later it's probably going to be a mess, right? So now you're not detecting anything, see? So at some point the song's gonna be a complete mess and you may need to change the settings, but we're just gonna apply 1 for the whole thing. So that looks good for me right now. I'm gonna take that as it is, so this is good. MIDI events when pitch changes is selected, window size is set, overlap is whatever, 1 through 8, and this here, attack time is set. You can change the algorithms if you want, but it does have some effect, but I'm just gonna leave it. And close this. Now you're going to right click on this track here in this MIDIfied section. You're going to press apply track / take FX to items as new take MIDI output. Okay, that's going to take some time. It's going to convert this into a MIDI file, piano roll for the notes that it detects. You'll see these little notes here. These are 2 takes, see 1 or 2 takes right here. But this one will be the one that displays. In order to see this, and you can double click it of course, and then you can see all the notes that it generated, which is pretty cool. We're going to see that in the back of the track while we're editing it. You see here, when I double click on part guitar, it shows up in the background right here already. So when you chart, you can kind of know the pitch of what you're doing. If you don't see that on this right side over here, oh man, let me resize my screen here. Good thing I caught that. If you don't see that, then on the right side over here above my Doge head, right up there, there's a little eyeball next to the track that you named guitar midified. You're gonna click that to toggle on or off the visibility of other tracks. Super helpful. So we have our notes here. Last thing we're gonna do is just kind of move these notes up. For this instrument, we don't care what the actual note is that it's playing. We just want it to be relative to the other notes. So we're going to move this up so we can see this behind everything else. So I'm going to go to this track. I'm going to press Control A to select everything, and then I'm going to click to drag them up. And I'm going to, because it's going to move around. Now after I've clicked, I'm going to hold Control and Shift at the same time. Holding Control and Shift will cause it to snap. So we're going to move them up to around where, around this expert range up here, just so we can kind of see it. Anywhere you want up here, and this is why we're going to do this. When I go back to the part guitar track here, when I double click on this, it's just closer to where we're working so we can see up or down where we need to go from here. Okay, this is going to look a lot better on other instruments. So on guitar, it's whatever. Normally you might not even do this at all on guitar because there's just so much noise on the track, because the other audio that we dragged in is going to pick up everything, not just guitar. It's going to pick up every single thing in the song that's not bass, drums, or vocals detected, so it's going to be messy. All right, so let's begin charting. We're going to double click on the part guitar track. Hold Alt to zoom in here, and I'm just going to start on the middle note here, yellow, on the first note of the song. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to skip that little fanfare at the beginning of the trumpet. Okay, there's 3 notes here. And feel free to skip around. You know, after you see a little bit here, you can skip the next bookmark and see more if you'd like. As before, you can kind of look at this guitar audio here, and you'll see there's an overlay as well of the part guitar and the guitar audio, so you can see if the notes line up properly, if it's really isolated. I'm gonna move this over here. No, I'll leave it there for you. Change this. I know my offset is about 110, I believe. Okay, I'm going way too fast there. Okay, you can hear that this note is the same. See, it's not really great on guitar to see this background, but you can see that this note right here is the same as over here. So I can assume this is yellow. I'm gonna right click, or you can select to drag, and I'm gonna drag this over. For the sustain, gaps, as per the authoring guide that I'll link, it's gonna say you want to leave a 16th note of space between each of these if possible. The minimum you want to leave is a 32nd note. So let's see the sustain here. So this one is a slight sustain, right? Okay. So we're gonna leave that minimum 32nd note of space by changing our grid down here to 32nd notes, and we're gonna put this far, and we're gonna put this one this far. You don't want it to be right up on it. It might look a little bad here on this preview, but it's gonna look even worse in game. They don't want that to happen, so you want to leave that gap. If possible, use a 16th note gap is better, so it gives them more time to move their finger off the note. For this one, it's really close, so I'll just do 32nd. This is just preference. And yeah, let's play it. Cool. Okay, so that's pretty good. The sustains should be like that. If they get too stubby, you need to be careful. Like, this is pretty stubby, right? The 16th note is going to be a regular note. Anything below that is fine. It's still going to be a regular note. Anything above a 16th note is going to become this trail. You'll notice in game that these are kind of stubby. Here it looks long, but in game you do kind of want to avoid these ones, but I still do them. But you can see in game, you'll notice like it doesn't look super great, but I still do them anyway. So usually your notes are going to be starting here. I can see this note here is lower. Okay. This note is going to be, let's just do red here. Okay, I'm going to move it up to give myself more space. This is the same note here. I'm kind of copying the lengths of these ones back here because I'm assuming it's the same. Okay, let's see. All right, so now since a lot of these are doing these hammer-ons, let's see. We're gonna change this to mark manual hammer-on off, because he's clearly hitting this note. It's not a hammer-on. It's a distinct new note. So I'm gonna turn the force HOPO off like this. By putting this here, it removes this hammer-on here. So I'm gonna put force HOPO off to turn that off. Okay, I'm gonna put that right here. It has to be the same width of the note that you're putting it on. So don't do this. It'll error later when you export it. It has to be the same. Okay, so all those are good. If you want to do the opposite and you want to force the hammer on, of course, you can do the force HOPO on, and that will change it to this version. So let's say you want that red one right here to be a hammer-on as well as the green one. You can just do force HOPO on there. But since these are all distinct notes in this case, they're all going to be, I want it to be as close to the real guitar, so I'm going to turn the HOPO off. off on these. No cheating, gotta make it hard for them. Cool. Alright, so that's how you do the manual HOPOs on or off. Yeah, that looks good. So this one is higher than the other blue, so I'm going to put this up. See? Doesn't have to be perfect, but it should kind of match up. I'll come back to it later and listen to it, you know? Okay, that was the same exact. This one here is exactly the same as over there, I believe. So what I did is I'm going to hold the right click and select this previous part. I'm going to hold Control when I click this with the left mouse, and it will make a copy of it. I'm going to bring it over here. Now while I still have Control held, I'm going to also put down Shift, and by doing that it'll align it so I don't move it up or down on accident. I'm going to check where the measure is and make sure these line up here. You see this third yellow note here is like that, so it's probably going to be right there. Okay, so it sounds exactly the same when you play it. See? This, I could do a hammer on here because it sounds kind of like, you know, it'd be a little more fun to do that. It sounds like that's what he's doing, but if you do that, usually you want to do it in every part where you did that, so it's consistent. Let's see, this one probably has one too. So I'll just do that. Makes it nice. So here, it's really hard to hear the guitar, but I can listen to the entire song and see what I can hear. But I'll probably start doing some chords here. Let's see. Oh. I must have solo set somewhere else. Yep, there you go. That's wrong. There we go. So yeah, you can't really hear much there what's going on with guitar, so we're gonna give it some chords now. Let's do that. I'm gonna solo the guitar audio. So for chords, normally you want to do, and this is when you really want to look into the see through your authoring guide on. You normally want to do 2 notes like this, a little bit apart. These are the most common chords, are these ones like this, right? You can also do, they recommend whenever you have a lot of movement, like moving between chords, you can do 2 together like that, or like that. You can also do, like, power chords will usually be 3 in this way together. You can also do ones that are split like this for like diminished chords and minor chords and other things like that. If you want to do this way where they're split, like, again, you can look in the authoring guide. But the things that you definitely don't want to do are chords which have 4 notes. Don't do that. Obviously, you can't even play 5 notes physically, so don't do that. So 3 notes max, no matter what. You want to avoid spreads like this. You don't want to have these spreads. You don't want to have a green and red note, green and orange note together in the same spot, so don't do that as well. They should only be 4 apart like this, not 5. So I think that's most of the rules there. But most of the time, the most common chords you're going to use is these 2 note chords with the spread like this. So I always start with these in the song, and later, if it sounds more interesting, I may add some 3 noters like this. If it starts moving all over the place, then I'll start doing like these to transition up and down, like in this kind of way. If there's an immense amount of transitions, you can do this, open, this, down and kind of walk your way down like that. And you see in this way, you can get a lot of chords out of just those two notes. You can kind of do that. Okay, so let's hear what we can in this song. Okay, a lot of repetition here. I always start in the, in the middle, and then I see later if I need more room to move up or I need more room to move down. Sometimes these notes in the background will let you see that you're going to need to move up a lot, so then you need to start down. If you see in the background that you're going to need to move down a lot in the future, then you're going to start high. But I can't see anything here, so I'm just going to start in the middle. Okay, you can see in the waveform up above that these are right here on each one of these. I don't know, the 8th notes, I guess. You can see how they line up there. Not perfectly, but you can see them, right? Okay, usually they're going to line up in the halfway marks or the quarter-way marks right here. See, so that's kind of how I knew. This part gets faster, so it's going to be here. You see the spacing is pretty consistent. I'm going to force hammer on here just to make it easier to move around like that. It's better to have notes than no notes at all in a spot. So even if there isn't a guitar here playing, which there probably is, if it's like, say if it's just trumpet or something, go ahead and give them the notes to play so they're not just sitting there doing nothing when there's music playing. All right, there's either a major gap here or the vocal track is eating the song audio. Let's listen.
Lonely, I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
Big gap here, see?
For my own. Oh, I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely.
So there's the first re-entry of the guitar here. When it's extremely high like this, I'm gonna do a 2-noter at the top like that. Okay, so it does go higher, and see how the background is not helping us at all. These notes in the back, they should help, but they don't in guitar really. They help a lot more on bass. I think I heard another one here in between it. Let's see if I can solo the guitar. Yep, so these are the same. Okay. There's another one here, even though it's quieter, it's there. It's just the AI didn't pick it up all the way. Now these are the same chords as before. Oh, I lied. This is lower. So by going back, you can tell that this is not the same. See? So this one is lower, so I'm going to put it down a little bit. Now this, try to hear what this is. So this one is in between this and this. So this is in between, so I can either move this down or I can do something a little different here. It's probably going to repeat here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this. I'm going to hold Control and I'm going to move it over. Okay. This is something I did in the drum chart as well. So you'll see you can hold right click, click Control, move it over. Again, you can hold Shift down now once you've already had it selected and move it. It's probably going to line up right there. Let's take a listen. Let me listen to this part. So it doesn't go that high in this one, so it's not exactly the same. So I got the pattern wrong somewhere here. So this is that chord, right? So we know that this is this chord. So we're gonna, by going back and listening to it, it's this one. You want to keep the same chords for different parts. Okay. Oops. Okay, these are the same here. Oh. Okay, so I don't want to be over perfect on this, so I'm gonna move on. Okay, this chord is used a lot, and you can look up the guitar tabs on this online and find the chords if you really want to get it perfect, but don't want to over obsess here. You just want to know if it goes up or down. And you want to keep the same chords if you can that you used previously up in the future. So I think that's this. Yep. Let's see, the second time he does these, I want to make this a little different. Just to make it more interesting. Goes down there. See, I don't want to make that too hard to go down, so. Let's see if I can do this without being too difficult. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, let me go back and check it out. See, this one gets higher. Yeah, it gets higher, so we're gonna move this up. Okay. Yeah, you want it to be kind of fun to play, so let's see. Sometimes you don't want to put 3 notes just so it's more fun. I don't know. Let's see. That we don't have to worry about anything, but it can also be more fun when you're doing like a loud part to do 3 notes too. Okay, now we have sounds like a big repetition here. So I'm going to copy this entire thing, right click and drag over it, hold control, move it over, then hold shift to align it. I'm going to look up at the waveform and see if I'm on or off. Move this over a little bit. So this part is lower here, so it's a repetition of a different part. So instead of this going high on the second one like this, it's starting on the part where it goes lower. So I'm gonna take this instead here, move this over. Now, it's not normally this hard to hear. The singer is really loud right now in this part of the song, so the AI is having a hard time splitting it up. So I'm going to turn on the whole track here in a second after I get through this little part. I'm going to turn on like all of them so I can hear everything at once. The poor AI is fighting for its life trying to detect these. And me too if I don't turn on the rest of the track in a second. Alright, that's what it sounds like to me. Let's turn on the rest of the tracks now. Let's hear it all together. It's gonna be loud.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. I am so lonely. Yo, this one here goes out to all my players out there. You know, they got that one good girl, Lord, that's always been there, man. Like, took all the bullshit, but then one day she can't take it no more and decides to leave. Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night and I noticed my girl wasn't by my side. Could have sworn I was dreaming for I was
Kind of sounds like it goes down there.
by my side. Could have sworn I was dreaming for my side. Could have sworn I was dreaming for I was fiending, so I had to take a little ride. Backtracking over these few years, trying to figure out what I do to make it go bad. Cause ever since my girl left me, my whole life came crashing and I'm so came crashing and life came crashing and I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. Girl, I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. Can't believe I had a girl like you and I just let you walk right out of my life. After all I
There's another gap and the guitar is gone here entirely.
put you through, you still stuck around and stayed by my side. What really hurt me is I broke your heart, baby.
That's kind of surprising. Let's take a listen what the AI thinks. The automatic stem splitting here. Also didn't hear any guitar in the spot. I don't hear it either. You could optionally chart another instrument on this part if you want. Depending how long this gap is, we'll see if I need to chart the other instrument. Let me check how far this goes for, because you don't want there to be too many empty space for guitars. It starts coming in. Here's a guitar. I think it's around here. It comes back in somewhere.
Without you in my life, girl, I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
Yeah, so I can put the guitar back in around here. Let me just mark this as a spot to come back in at. Okay. Careful, it doesn't, when you're not zoomed in, you see you can't really draw short notes, so it ends up doing the sustain thing, so we'll move in a little bit, but for now I'm just going to leave it as a marker, you know.
You in my life, girl, I'm so make things right, 'cause without you in my life, girl, I'm so lonely.
There really isn't much instruments here at all to chart anyways.
Can't believe I had a girl like you and I just let you walk right out of my life. After all I put you through, you're still stuck.
But I could still do, so let's just go ahead and do, I don't know what that is in the back, trombone or something.
Can't believe I had a girl like you and I.
That way there's not these gaps, you know? It's more fun when there's more notes to play. Let's see here.
Just let you walk right out.
I can do hammer on here.
Just let you.
So basically I'm changing instruments here, so that's totally fine. Just change to. So at this point I'm saying, okay, now I'm just gonna chart whatever this horn instrument is here in the back, I believe. Make sure this is right lined up in the middle there. You can see on the lines here too, you know, if it's off, like you'll see it looks off from the grid. Let's go down and do this for each of these parts.
Can't believe I had a girl like you and I just.
So, okay.
Can't believe I had a girl like you and I just.
I think this one gets a little higher than this one, so that's why I did that.
Just let you walk right out of my life.
Yep, and then again over here.
After all I put you through, you're still stuck.
And then again, one. Oh, okay. So again over here too. But I can't go any higher, so. You do like that.
After all I put you through, you're still stuck around and stayed by my side. What
Then it goes back low again.
really hurt me is I broke your heart, baby. You're a good. You and I.
Yeah, so this is like part of the song where it repeats.
What really hurt me is I broke your heart, baby. You're a good girl and I had no right. I really wanna make things right, 'cause without you in my life, girl, I'm so lonely.
Okay, and we'll just do one last part from that other instrument before we go back to the guitar again.
Girl, I'm so lonely.
Cool. That way they have something to play. All right, let's continue. Let's listen for any repetition from earlier parts of the song. This is the chorus again, and hopefully we can copy all that over.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
I'm gonna try to find the other chorus.
I'm so lonely.
Okay, so this is the same chorus here. So I'm gonna copy everything after this, like every single thing I have so far, except for my little marker there. That way, I can always delete some, you know, but I don't want to keep going back over and over again to check where I'm at in this copy. So I'm gonna take the whole song, select it with right click, then I'm gonna hold Control and left click and move this over. Hold Shift to line it up. I'm gonna move the play cursor here, hold Alt and zoom in.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
I'm gonna slide this over.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody.
So when he says I have nobody, that's the second part here.
I have nobody.
So it's more like there, I think. I have nobody. Is this? Oh. It's harder than it looks. I mean, it's not this hard. It's just it's easier than it looks. I'm just making it look difficult. Beautiful. This time I think it went up, so I think I kind of messed up here. See? So this is why when I copied it over, I copied as much as possible, because it changed back into this part where there's no guitar again. And now I have that already captured, so I don't have to go back.
Never met a girl that can take the things that you've been through. Never thought the day would come where you get up and run and I would be out chasing you. Cause ain't nowhere in the globe I'd rather be. Ain't no one in the globe I'd rather see than the girl of my dreams that made me be so happy but now so lonely.
Okay, this part's not here, but that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna go back and get the part from before because this is the chorus again. Let's go back and find it. Okay, so where he says lonely is this part. So we're gonna zoom out. This is also bigger, easier on a super wide screen like I have, but I'm only showing you a portion of my screen, so I have to zoom out pretty far. Okay, let's do that. It's gonna start here. Remove my little placeholder I had there. I want to fix this one back here before I go any further. I don't know what I've decided to do with this, really. There's really nothing there. Yeah, I just won't put anything. It's a big moment in the song, but there's just nothing on this instrument here. Now let's continue here. Alright, pretty good. I'm gonna pause for a second. Alright.
Never thought that I'd be alone. I didn't think you'd be gone this long. I just want you to call my phone. So stop playing, girl, and come on home. Baby girl, I didn't mean.
Now you notice I listened to the entire song because if even a slight change happens, I want to add that in there.
Come on home.
Like this part right here, doing a little extra on that instrument, so I'm gonna put it like this.
Baby girl, I didn't mean to shout. I won't.
Now a lot of times in chord changes you want to do a certain thing, but I'll come back at the end and see if they have a spot for it.
I want me and you to work it out. I never wish to ever hurt my baby, and it's driving me crazy 'cause I'm lonely. So long, I miss the long. 'Cause I'm lonely.
heard a little guitar here. Interesting. Didn't hear that any part before. Okay, but in any case, it's back to the main groove again. So let's go back here. Luckily, this song has a lot of the chorus over and over again, so happy, but makes it easy for me on this chart. Okay, copy this all over. This is about, you know, this is 64.2 here, so we're gonna make sure that this copies over at 80.2 over here. Okay, we're almost at the end of the song. We're basically at the end of the song. Okay, my placeholder, there's no sound there. Repeats the chorus here instead of switching to like the bridge or whatever he had earlier. So all this is invalid now here. I mean, you could keep these. You can see the instrument is still being played in the background. But if you ever have a spot where there's both guitar and another instrument, get back on the guitar. You know, immediately. Don't stay on the other instrument unless the other instrument is like insanely loud compared to the guitar. So let's copy over this chorus groove that I had from before. This is the end of the song. No more instruments after this mark. You can see the sound cuts off for the guitar. There's only vocals and some bass afterwards. Let's see what we can do for the last note. It doesn't matter the length of the notes as long as they're 16th note or smaller. Okay, so we'll just do that for the end. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at one thing for chord changes. If there's a spot in your song where the chord changes right up against another one, this is also in that See Through Authoring guide. For anything else that you want to know here, specifics, go through that guide that I linked. It's really good. Like, it was written by Harmonix and it has all the notes for guitar. This song hardly has anything that most songs are going to have for guitar, but it's a easier song to chart, so that's why I chose it. It's shorter. I'll show you a couple of things that I can cover here, but obviously there's going to be a lot more in some of your other songs. So one thing is, if you do a chord change, that's going to be, you're going to pull back the chord like this right before the measure, and you're going to put a hammer-on usually on it. And Rock Band even recommends just only having the first note like this. So they would say, let's say you have a ton of chords like this playing really, really fast. And in this song, it doesn't have it. But if it's like na 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 na, you want to put this hammer on, pull it back one beat from the measured line here, so that way they have time to change chords. So that's something good to know. Usually I put both the notes on the one before it. It just depends how hard you want to make it, but that pattern is on that guide, so just look at how you do that correctly, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna undo this. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna undo all this really quickly, so I can show you the solos. Okay, so if you have a solo, pretty simple. You just cover it with this, right? And then that's where the solo begins and ends. They're gonna get their points whenever this line ends here. So maybe end it on the beat if you can. But that's all you got to do for solos. You just cover it with that line. We can look at the trill and strum markers because that's pretty easy. Trill and strum, very easy if you have a whole bunch of notes in a row. They have to be 30-second notes, by the way, for these, I believe. If it has to be that fast. If it's 16th notes and you put a strum marker or a trill marker, it won't do anything. It will error later on. So you're gonna do like this, cover all of the notes that are inside of this strum like that, and then they can play it faster than this, and they won't dock them any points. So they can play it at this speed or quicker, and it's more lenient on the scoring. The trill marker, I believe, is for when you're doing 2 lanes like this, a trill. Then you would put the trill marker, and same thing, they can do as fast as they want on these, and they'll get all the points they need. So that's how you do strum and trill markers. These big rock endings here, these BRE, if at the end of the song you have a spot where the whole band goes crazy, then you just put all 5 of these BRE markers at the very end of the song, like this. I hold control and I copied it. You can just put like that, same as you would on drum fills, and that will cause that section to be covered with the big rock ending where they go crazy, and then at the very end there's like a final note you hit. After this point, you have like a couple of notes to hit to get the points for that. You do want to have notes inside of this big rock ending, apparently, because they will otherwise just stand there and not play anything. They'll move around, but they won't like play fake notes. So if you have some notes like this in the big rock ending, that's great, because then the guitarist can like look like he's still playing the guitar during this big rock ending. Cool, so that's that. So charting different difficulties, we're going to use the cat script to generate these hard, medium, and easy sections here. Okay, I don't know what the left-handed stuff is down here. I guess it's for real guitar, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see, let me just make sure my song isn't messed up here first. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so for doing hard, medium, and easy, you're going to press F9, which is the cat hotkey. You'll see it in actions, show actions here, F9. So I'll press F9 now, or you can click run on that action. This will pop up. You're going to click automatic reductions, 5-lane, because this is a 5-lane instrument, like guitar, drums, bass, everything except for vocals is a 5-lane. You will click on reduce. That's all you need to do. You don't need to change any of this at all, and it will generate these. If it doesn't generate, you're going to have some type of problem, like you may have a MIDI note in a lane that doesn't make sense, like this, or you have some other funkiness going on with one of your notes, and it really won't tell you either, unfortunately. It's just going to say error, so you have to fight it, figure it out, and copy certain sections. If I really have problems and it won't generate these, then I will delete out half the song and just do process of elimination and say, okay, the error must be in the section I deleted. Delete another half, see if maybe it's there, and you'll find like where the error is at. Worst case, you got to do another track, but it's pretty rare, especially if you follow this guide. You're not going to have like any problems. Okay, so now it's generated my hard, medium, and easy. That's usually all you got to do. If you want to go back and clean it up to make it a little more fun for one of them or something, you can do that. Or if anything here looks really off, like they're missing a crucial part of the song, then you can do that. You can change your preview to easy, medium, or hard, and you can go down here, you can adjust these notes the same as you would the expert ones. You see easy has like 1 note, medium has notes like that. Easy doesn't go to orange notes, things like that, unless it's only a single note. So there's different rules on the C3 authoring guide that this automatically applies for you. So you really don't need to do much because it does it all for you. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's move on to Overdrive. Overdrive, pretty simple. You're going to need to highlight the lane that you want to do the overdrive with, like here, and they're usually about a measure long, as the same as in drums and every other instrument, except vocals. And you want to place about 10 of them in the song total, usually. So usually they're about 10 measures apart for 120 BPM song, but for different song speeds, you might have them closer or farther apart. Not a super hard rule on this. You can kind of do it as you please. If you want to do unison phrases where the whole band activates it at once, you want to line it up with your other instruments, then you can toggle on the visibility of the other instrument tracks here, and you can line up these to create unison phrases. They say to do 5 unison phrases and in total of 10. So 5 unison and 5 non-unison phrases is like the guideline, I guess. So I'm going to toggle on this part drums track that I previously did to see where my overdrive was on those other ones, and I can line up some of them. Harmonics recommends that you just copy these overdrive over from the other track. It is faster like that. They even like have hotkeys for it too on theirs, but I manually copy it. So I'm gonna go to part drums track. I scrolled up to click on part drums, double clicked it, and to select all the overdrive in this track at once, you can right click on the label here on the left side. Did that, it selected everything for me. I can press Control C to copy it, and I'm gonna go down to guitar, and I'm gonna click at the same spot where it was here, because that's where it's gonna paste, and press Control V. Now these are all gonna be unison phrases, which a lot of times I'll just do this anyway, and I'll just leave it like a lot of unison phrases, because it takes a lot of time to come back here and do all this. So, but in this case, I will move some of them out of the way just to, so that there's not a ton of unison phrases, because unison phrases are kind of extra loud when they all hit the same time. So if the song is having quiet spots, I don't really want there to be a blast of noise there and the whole band is celebrating that they got giant unison phrase, So I may move some of these that aren't on like major parts of the song. So let's listen to it.
They got that one good girl, Lord, that's always been there, man. Like, took all the bullshit.
Okay. When you do overdrive phrases, if you have a sustain note in it, it cannot overlap. I don't know if I have anything like that. There's not a lot of sustains in this song, but let's say this is like that, it's not going to fly because it cuts that sustain note right there. So if you do have it like this, it's not going to work. If you have another instrument that's here, let's say, so there's the overdrive for the drums, right? They can't be different sizes. So it can't be like this. It can't be shorter. They have to be exactly the same size, and you cannot do like this. They can't overlap whatsoever. I think they can touch like this, but I usually, just to be safe, I don't even let them touch. I make it over here like that, so I don't do it that way. Cool. So just be aware of that when you're moving it. You're gonna have a sustain problem. Like this is gonna be here, and you're gonna say, well, dang, I gotta capture this because magma at the end when I'm compiling said I gotta do this. Well, now you're gonna have a second problem where this can't be the same. It can't be different sizes. Okay, so that's something to note. We'll leave that there for now, though. It's a good spot to have it, really. That's a good unison phrase spot. Over here, I've moved this one. Since that one's moved, I can probably leave that one unison phrase. This one, I'll move it just over here. Not a big deal, wherever you want to put it. This one, I'll leave it. This one, I'll just move it. This one, I'll leave it. This one, I'll move it. This song is pretty tame, so it's not like it matters that much. If you have like a really awesome rock and roll song, then you want these to be like on really awesome spots. Let me see.
And it's driving me crazy.
Like parts like this.
Get out. I never wish to ever hurt my baby.
So maybe you can include that part right there, like that.
Wish to ever hurt
Beginning and
my
end doesn't
baby.
matter.
And it's
The beginning and end doesn't matter that much. When they get too close like this, it's just too much overdrive. I don't want them to get that much back to back. And another thing is when you have them over sustains, like if I had this over sustains here, you don't want them to collect too much sustain energy because they could like whammy like crazy. So these are short sustains, so it's fine. But be aware if you have something that's super long sustain, like this, then they're gonna collect so much overdrive during that you don't want to like have that much overdrive, okay? Because they're gonna end up with so much, it's gonna be crazy, and they're gonna be popping overdrive in the song left and right. As on the other ones, you don't want to have any overdrive in the last like 12 measures of the song as a rule of thumb. So I think this is probably about good right here, to be honest. You don't need a bunch in this song. This gives us a total overdrive count of 9. That's fine. I'm gonna leave it like that. Some of these are a little close together because I've slid them to the right. It's whatever. It's not that serious. The overdrive is probably one of the least big deal things in this whole charting process, in my opinion. So that's good. Overdrive is done. Now we're gonna move on to the animation markers for what causes the character to stand still or move in different manners. So to do that, you're gonna also press F9 again to open the cat menu. You're gonna press create animation events. If the song is mostly mellow, you can change this to mellow. If it's mostly intense, you can change to intense. But you're gonna go through and adjust these afterwards. It's pretty quick. So I'm gonna put mellow because the song is pretty chill. Press create markers. It's gonna put markers here on the bottom. These text events that say mellow, idle, or in other cases it can either be play or it can be intense, and it can also be idle real time. Check the guide for what all the things that it can be. But that's what I mentioned is probably all it can be really. So it goes about 1 measure in advance for the animations for this guy, just like in all other instruments use these same tags, even vocals. Mellow, idle, play, intense, and idle real time. So this is, let's see if this is mellow here. Yeah. So they get a little faster here, but it's not that big a deal. But I'll just show you if you want to make the guitar speed more animated and more energetic. Let's put a play here. This changes his animations to be more energetic for this part of the song. It does take him a while to get into this animation. That's why this is a 1 measure back like this. So this might not look the best because I have him immediately going to idle right afterwards. But this is how you change, like adjust the intensity of the guy dancing while the song is playing, just like that. So you'll just double click down here in this track and you'll type in text and type whatever you want to type in and it'll be there. Now let's see if this idle part, if he needs to bop to the beat here or not. The difference between idle and idle real time is that when idle real time happens, he stops moving. He doesn't stop moving. He stops moving to the beat. So he's not like nodding his head to the beat and bouncing the beat. He's just standing there like in real time idle. Like he's just like swaying back and forth, but not to the rhythm. So let's see if this idle part here should be to the rhythm or if it should just be him standing there like swaying casually.
I'm Mr. Lonely. I have nobody for my own. Oh, I'm so lonely. I'm Mr. Lonely.
Yeah, there's still a nice groove there, so I'll just let him keep swaying there. But if I wanted to change this to where I don't want him to do that, you can change this to idle underscore real time, and then he wouldn't do that. Okay, but I'm gonna leave it there because I think he's just moving. Now I'm just gonna check each one of these markers and make sure that this is the intensity of the animations that I want him to be doing. It's probably gonna be mellow for quite a bit of it, but during the choruses, even though it auto-generated mellow in the whole song, during the chorus I want probably to change to play intensity.
Like, took all the bullshit here. Yeah, I woke up in the middle of.
So I mean, he can get a little more intense right here, so I'm gonna put play.
Yeah.
Since it's such a slow song, I'm probably not gonna use the intense marker.
To leave. Yeah, I woke up in the middle.
So he's gonna animate a little more there.
Go back.
It'll look good in game. Like this is one of the really easy things you can do that just makes your animations in game look better. Like if you're not gonna do the full-on animations later at the end of the series that I show you, just do these because these are very simple to make them move a little better, you know. So I'm trying to find a spot where it goes back to mellow again, maybe here.
Been all about the world.
Let's see.
I put you on my own. but now so lonely.
So like I could make him stop moving right here entirely if you wanted to. This is a really tight spot. I wouldn't normally do this. You see that when it auto generates, it doesn't do it either because this is just such a short amount of time. It's not important to do that. But so I'm not gonna do that. But if it was a little wider, then you would.
Happy, but now so lonely. Never thought that I'd be alone.
Let's give another mellow here. I think, and also you can see right here, the drum track. You can copy this over as well instead of having to go through and do this manually. You'll see there's a lot of overlap. So you could just go into the part drums track by scrolling up, double clicking on it, or you can also click on this little arrow right here, and it will move you to part drums track. And you can zoom out and then right click and select all of these. Do not select any of the weird stuff at the beginning, like this part drums flag and these mixed right here. Leave that alone. Never touch those. Make sure that's the default as it comes across. But you can select all these and then you can copy it. And then with Control C, you right click and copy. Go back to the guitar track, and then you can just paste it. Make sure you paste it here in the exact same spot, and it will paste in all the text events there. Okay. Yeah, so that can save you some time. You can just copy all your play markers and stuff through every track, and then there you go. So your overdrive and animation markers can all be just done as one, and it's super fast process. It doesn't take this much time as I'm showing in the video.
Never thought that I'd be alone. I didn't think, and it's driving me crazy 'cause I'm lonely.
So since this is the end, you know, I'll throw the intents on here just to see what it's gonna look like in the final generation. But I probably would put play here normally. But on most of my songs, I do intents at the end. So yeah, it is important that the guy stops dancing here like pretty quickly.
Mr. Lonely.
And that's the animation markers. Awesome. So I think that's everything with the guitar. This right here would be good to export. You could do it as just this track and you can skip to the end, or you can watch the other parts of the series where we do the other instruments. And yeah, that's it.